Hey guys, I'm Sarah Silverwood and welcome to Sarah Speaking. I'm starting this channel to discuss my common sense, no-nonsense take on modern political issues. Today I'll be talking about an issue which is near and dear to me as a young Canadian woman. Justin Trudeau's decision to choose members of his cabinet based on their genitals, or as he would put it, implement gender parity. Hope you guys enjoy.
Many Canadians celebrated Justin Trudeau's decision to implement gender parity as a win for women and for equality. But was it? I don't think so. In this video, I'm going to debunk the most common arguments in favor of gender parity to show you guys why I disagree with gender parity and why you should too. First, I'm going to dispute the common argument that because women make up 50% of the population, they need to make up 50% of the government. Here's why. For those of you who don't know, Cabinet is a group of ministers who, along with the Prime Minister, form the Government of Canada. They essentially establish the policies and direct the work of the government. The important thing to note here is that the Prime Minister chooses the Cabinet ministers based on the elected MPs. But in 2015, like many other years, only 50 MPs were women, while 134 were men. In other words, a woman was 3 times more likely to be chosen for a cabinet position only based on gender, not based on superior merit or superior ideas or superior qualifications, just gender. Personally, I think that's absurd. Women and men should be judged the exact same way. I mean, isn't that what feminism is all about? You might still argue that women still need representation even if they weren't elected. But the thing is, women can still vote for anybody they want, just like men. If women want, they can vote for only women, but the fact is that they don't. They vote for the person that most aligns with their political views. You'd be right to point out that women comprise of much less than half of the candidates that run for office, so it might not be a fair comparison to make. But there's nothing stopping any woman from running for office. Women have full social and legal equality. The fact is, studies show women aren't as interested in politics as men are. There are biological differences between men and women that can explain this. Why would you want to force women into a career that they're not interested in? What about the argument that because women have been historically oppressed, we as a society have an obligation to ensure that women are in influential governmental positions now? Again, women have full social and legal equality today. If women aren't running for candidates, or if people aren't voting for women, I'm sorry, but unfortunately that's democracy. Canada's not communist. We're not obliged to ensure equality of outcomes. Do you really want to live in a world where how hard you work doesn't matter? Where you're not judged for the content of your character, but for the color of your skin or your gender? I don't. Finally, this discussion begs a question. If people aren't voting for women, how are their interests getting represented? First off, women's interests don't really exist. It's true that women are more likely to vote left on certain issues such as welfare and healthcare, but that's pretty much the extent of it. Throughout all of history, women's views have drastically changed to be all over the political spectrum. Most political issues today are in no way agreed upon by most women. You might not expect that a study done in 2000 shows more women opposed abortion than men, more women thought crime was a serious issue than men, and more men were sympathetic to feminism than women.
Wow!
Furthermore, women don't need to be represented by a woman to be considered having representation. Last time I checked, a man can still have leftist views, or for that matter, represent any issue that a woman also agrees with. We would never say that a woman couldn't represent a man based on her gender alone. Isn't there some hypocrisy here? Unfortunately, Trudeau is normalizing the harmful idea that gender is an intrinsic and unchangeable feature of the way women think. And that's just not true. This idea is actually damaging to Canadian women. It's limiting their ability to think for themselves, change their views, or be creative in the political realm.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. This is my very first video on YouTube ever, and I'd be really interested in knowing what you thought of it. Also, please leave a comment on what you think of Trudeau's gender parity decision, or if you have any suggestions. I'll read every comment. Until next time, I'm Sarah Silverwood, and it's been a pleasure.